Mexico thinks the biggest threat in this match is South Korea. But what if the real danger is something they've struggled with for years? Because hidden beneath the headlines, beneath the predictions, and beneath the betting odds, there's a tactical trap waiting for Mexico. A trap that revolves around one man, one of the fastest attackers in world football, a player who has spent years punishing defenders in the Premier League, a player who lives for moments exactly like this. Son Heung-min. And if Mexico isn't careful, this World Cup match could become another chapter in a story football fans have seen before. A favorite walks in expecting control, an underdog waits patiently. Then, one moment changes everything. The scary part? The warning signs are already there.
Heading into this World Cup clash, most fans naturally look at Mexico and see the favorite. It's easy to understand why. Mexico has one of the largest football fan bases on the planet, a rich World Cup history, a reputation for consistency, and a squad filled with players competing at high levels around the world. For decades, Mexico has been one of international football's most reliable tournament teams. You expect them to compete. You expect them to qualify. You expect them to handle business. South Korea enters this match with a very different reputation. They're respected, they're dangerous, but they're rarely viewed as favorites against major football nations. And that's exactly what makes them so dangerous. Because South Korea doesn't need to dominate possession. They don't need to be the bigger name. They don't need the spotlight. They only need opportunities. And if there's one thing World Cup history has taught us, it's that opportunities can destroy expectations. Just ask Germany in 2018. Just ask Portugal in 2002. Just ask every favorite that underestimated an opponent because of reputation. But here's where things get really interesting, because South Korea's biggest weapon isn't just their star power, it's the specific type of football they play, and that creates a nightmare scenario for Mexico.
Later in this video, we're going to uncover a tactical mismatch that could decide the entire game. It's a weakness Mexico has shown before. It's exactly the type of weakness Son Heung-min loves attacking. And once you see it, you'll understand why this match could become one of the biggest stories of the group stage. But first, let's start with reason number 5. South Korea thrives when people count them out. One of the most dangerous things in football is a team with nothing to lose. South Korea knows the football world isn't talking about them the same way people talk about Brazil, France, England, Argentina, or even Mexico. And that's powerful. Because expectations create pressure. Pressure creates mistakes, and mistakes create opportunities. South Korea has built an entire football identity around proving people wrong. Every generation seems to produce another moment that shocks the world. Every tournament produces another reminder that this team refuses to be intimidated. They don't care about reputation. They care about 90 minutes. And when players step onto a World Cup pitch believing they have nothing to lose, they often become incredibly difficult opponents. Mexico knows that. Their fans know that. And deep down, their players know that too. But psychological factors are only part of the story. The next reason is where football starts becoming dangerous. Reason number 4. Son Heung-min changes everything. World Cups are often decided by stars, not systems, not statistics. Stars. And South Korea possesses one of the best players in this entire tournament. Son Heung-min isn't just South Korea's captain, he's one of the most feared transition attackers in world football. Defenders hate playing against him, managers hate preparing for him, because Son only needs one turnover, one mistake, one open channel, one defender out of position. That's all it takes. Over the years, we've watched him punish elite defenses in England. We've seen him score against top clubs. We've seen him turn ordinary counterattacks into unforgettable moments. And here's the frightening part for Mexico. The situations where Sun is most dangerous happen to be the exact situations Mexico may face in this game. But we'll come back to that shortly, because another factor is making this matchup even more fascinating, and most fans aren't talking about it. Reason number 3. Mexico's style creates risk. Mexico wants the ball. That's who they are. They want possession. They want territory. They want control. Most of the time, that's a strength, but every strength creates a weakness. The more players you commit forward, the more space appears behind them. The higher your defensive line pushes, the more vulnerable you become when possession changes. The more you attack, the more dangerous every turnover becomes. And South Korea is built to attack those moments. This isn't about who has more possession, it's about who uses space more effectively. Imagine Mexico controlling 60% of the ball. Imagine them dominating large parts of the match. Now imagine South Korea creating the better chances anyway. That's not impossible. In fact, that's exactly how many World Cup upsets happen. Favorites dominate territory, underdogs dominate moments, and moments win football matches. But we're still not at the biggest reason, because what comes next is where this match becomes truly dangerous for Mexico.
And trust me, if you're predicting a comfortable Mexico victory, you need to hear the next 2 reasons. Because they're connected, and together, they create the exact scenario South Korea wants.
Reason number 2. World Cups reward discipline, not hype. Every World Cup produces teams that look incredible on paper. Then reality arrives. Because tournament football is different. You don't need to be spectacular. You need to be efficient. You need concentration. You need discipline. You need patience. South Korea understands this. They know they won't dominate every match. They know they won't always have more possession. They know they won't always be the better-known team. But tournament football isn't a popularity contest. It's a survival contest. The teams that stay organized under pressure often outperform teams with superior individual talent. And that's why South Korea remains dangerous deep into games. They don't panic. They don't abandon their structure. They wait. And sometimes all it takes is one mistake from the favorite, one lapse in concentration, one risky pass, one defensive breakdown. Which brings us to the biggest reason of all. The reason this match could completely transform Group A. Reason number 1, the tactical trap. This is the trap Mexico must avoid, and it revolves around transition defense. When Mexico attacks, their fullbacks naturally push higher. Midfielders move forward. The team stretches the field. That's normal. That's modern football. But every time possession changes, a race begins. Can Mexico recover quickly enough? Or can South Korea attack before the defensive structure resets? That's where Son Heung-min becomes terrifying, because very few players in world football attack open space better. He recognizes gaps instantly, he accelerates instantly, and he punishes hesitation instantly. The nightmare scenario for Mexico isn't South Korea dominating the match. The nightmare scenario is South Korea surviving pressure and then exploding into space, again and again and again. The longer the match stays close, the more dangerous those moments become, because pressure changes behavior. Players become impatient, decision-making becomes rushed, defensive positioning becomes sloppier, and suddenly the exact opportunities South Korea wants begin appearing. That's the trap. Not domination, not possession, space. And if Mexico gives Son Heung-min enough space, they could be in serious trouble.
Now, let's put everything together. An underdog that embraces pressure, one of the world's most dangerous transition attackers, a tournament environment where discipline matters more than reputation, and a tactical matchup that potentially favors South Korea's greatest strengths. Suddenly, this doesn't look like a routine game anymore. Suddenly, it looks like a potential World Cup headline. So here's my prediction. Mexico will control more possession. Mexico will probably spend more time in the attacking half. Mexico will likely look like the stronger team for long stretches. But football isn't decided by who looks stronger. It's decided by who takes their moments. And I believe South Korea will create enough dangerous transition opportunities to shock millions of viewers around the world. My prediction is a dramatic 2-1 South Korea victory, a result that instantly changes the entire conversation in Group A, a result that turns Son Heung-min into one of the stories of the tournament, and a result that reminds football fans why World Cups remain the greatest sporting event on Earth. Because every 4 years, one team rewrites the script, and this might be that moment.
But now I want to hear from you. Am I completely wrong? Will Mexico prove they're simply too strong? Or are we about to witness one of the first major shocks of the 2026 World Cup? Drop your prediction in the comments. Who wins? What's the score? And most importantly, will Son Heung-min become the hero of Group A? Let's find out.